saying in the air that interview performance is very important, and even if you have a low gate score, then if you do well in the interview, you can drastically increase your chances of getting selected. Because
But one thing is like they expect you to keep on explaining whatever the steps you write on the board.
Hello everyone, welcome to another video in this IISc MTech guide session. And today we have Raghu and Sanjeev from Department of Instrumentation and Applied Physics. They are currently into first year of their MTech in IP program. So let's begin with their introduction and then we'll discuss about the IAP department and different programs, MTech programs offered, the internship and placement opportunities, what are the diverse background of UG students which come into this department, the research areas, and finally the placements and other details. So, Raghu, you can give a brief introduction about yourself and then we'll move on to Sanjeev.
Hi everyone, I am Raghuttama BN. I am from MTech Instrumentation Systems, first year, second sem student from the Department of IAP in Indian Institute of Science. So I am from BTech background from electronics and communication background, and even I have given my gate in EC paper only. So I secured rank of All India rank 242, and with the formal admission process, I have been into IIS.
Okay, Sanjeev, please tell about yourself.
Yeah, so hi everyone. I'm Sanjeev, who's currently pursuing MTech in Instrumentation Systems. My BTech background is also Electronics and Instrumentation from BMS College of Engineering. And I have given the GATE biomedical paper and have secured All India Rank 1. And through the admission process, I have been selected into MTech Instrumentation System. It was my first priority.
Now we would like to know about the different programs that are offered by this department, different MTech programs.
Yeah, one is the one which I'm pursuing, which is instrumentation system. That is called MTech in Instrumentation Systems. The second one is MTech in Quantum Technology. And as far as I remember, last year or last to last year, maybe they have launched another called as cryogenic technology. There is a center called as there is a place called a Center for Cryogenic Technology. So this is also being offered by IAP department itself. So I think there are broadly three programs which the IAP department is offering.
Okay. Okay. So Raghu, I saw like on the website. So please take us to the website of Department of IAP and tell about in detail. There are two programs like MTech Research and MTech, and also the how the coursework is there.
Yeah, surely. Now, yes, even this is Department of Instrumentation and Applied Physics website. So even people who are viewing here can also refer to this. It is open to, like it's on the website. So here the different academic programs, as we can see, is are like PhD and integrated PhD and MTech research, and MTech regular MTech in instrumentation systems and quantum technology.
Okay.
So PhD and integrated PhD, like they span through different areas. So those research areas people can see it in the website also. But now focusing on the MTech research and MTech part, let us see how the credits are defined and so and so. Coming to regular MTech, like it has 64 credits. So each
Okay.
credit usually on an average in IISc will be of 3 credit subject. Either it may be 2:1, which is a lab course, and it may be 3:0, which is a completely theory course. So here in our department, minimum 18 credits to be done is hardcore. So we have 6 hardcore subjects, and soft core is minimum 9. That is 3 courses to be done as soft core. That is mandatory by the department end. And electives and rest of the electives can be taken from any department. So if we take down 64, like 20 credits from 64 credits, around 44 credits of coursework is to be done. So another 6 to 7 subjects, if people are like whatever the people are interested in, they can take those subjects throughout the department. There is no restriction on that by the department end.
Okay.
So seeing to the different hardcore courses here, semiconductor devices and circuits, sensors and transducers, and sensors and transducers lab. So as it is an instrumentation system, control system design, digital signal processing, and these two sensor courses are like the main focus area of the department. And instrumentation electronics laboratory, it also gives a hands-on of the different basic system and circuits that is to be needed to do any system design or system building.
Okay.
Coming to different softcore courses, they span along different areas. You can see like we have RF networks and systems in and introduction to embedded systems. They come under and the electronics background, and also like one subject which is not, I didn't see in the pool, but it's been added to the softcore course in this January, is fundamentals of MOS analog integrated circuits design. So it is
Okay.
hosted by DESC department, but it is also a soft core of IAP department. So we have a AVLSI course also as a soft core course.
Okay.
So, and also analytical instrumentation, nanoscience, concepts of solid state physics, and other subjects which are present here are about the signal processing background. One like signals and system for digital health, that is an application of signals and systems background, signal processing. And then we have this analytical instrumentation, and these are all the parts which come under applied physics background. So it is kind of an interdisciplinary department. So we can see electronics here, applied physics here, and also signal processing, a wide variety of subjects. So, and as I said, 20 credits is for project.
Project. Okay. So, Sanjeev, like, what is the average intake in this for MTech in IN instrumentation systems?
So the proper, I mean, the rigorous program actually began from 2023. So from then on, we had a decent amount of intake. So in 2023, I think it was around 22 people. In my
Okay.
batch, that is 2024, it was 14 people. And
Okay.
this year, there was a meet that was conducted by the department, and I heard from one of my friends who is applying that they are willing to take around 20 to 30 people. So it's somewhere around 20. We can say,
Okay.
seeing the previous year trends. So it's somewhere around 20.
So, what like currently in your batch, what are the different UG background people whom you know they are into this? Because since it
Yeah.
is an interdisciplinary branch.
Yes. So actually, our batch is somewhat different. Actually, in our batch, everyone is from electronics, electrical, or instrumentation background, either of these three. In
Okay.
previous batch, there were people from mechanical, there were people from, I think, physics. I don't exactly remember, but there was an interdisciplinary mix like electrical, electronics, and then physics, and then mechanical, and all those. So that
Okay.
was about the previous batch. But in our batch, it is totally, electrical branches, I can say, like instrumentation, electronics, and all that.
Mostly related to EC and electrical
Yeah,
circuits
mostly
branch.
related to EC. Yeah.
Okay. So going to this, Raghu, could you take us to the website again and tell us which all branches or UG programs they are eligible?
Okay, coming to admissions, here we can see that for MTech program, basically BE or BTech students, from like if you need to have a BE or BTech equivalent uh, degree with all the gate paper in any of these branches. Like you can have Aero AE, that is BM Biomedical, CS Computer Science, Data, DA
Yes.
paper, EC, EE, and IN background, and then mathematics, physics, as it is also having applied physics. So maths, physics is included. Even XC, that is XC paper, is also included. So this is under. These are the different gate papers people can apply. So for more information, each and every detailing, surely like it has been jotted in the website. People can go through it.
Okay. Thank you. So, for how is the admission process? Like after gate score, there is interview.
So is Sanjeev taking this?
Yeah.
Sure,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Yes, there is actually interview, and it is like 70% of gate score weightage and 30% of interview weightage. But usually there is this, saying in the air that interview performance is very important, and even if you have a low gate score, then if you do well in the interview, you can drastically increase your chances of getting selected because they see that interview is very important for the selection. Although it is
Okay.
just 30%, but it can be a very good deciding factor for selection.
So I think please share your interview experience. It will be
Yeah,
helpful.
yeah, definitely. So I can actually tell you 2 years of interview experience because I had also come to this department in 2023, but I did not get selected. And there was
Okay.
also another in 2024. So I'll be sharing both of these. So
Okay.
coming to 2023, I had taken control systems, signals and systems as my favorite subjects, and mathematics was a compulsory. So they ask you irrespective of that, whether you say it or not. But for me, on that day, mathematics was not asked. So I'll start with controls and signals. So they ask more of like very fundamental and why type of questions, in the sense like he asked me. So they start with the very basics. They'll make you feel very comfortable. Like this is with all the departments in IAC and even with IAP, that they make you sit, they make you feel comfortable. They ask you to tell about yourself, make you open up to them, and then they start quizzing you on what you know. So they are not very harsh or something like that. So they initially asked me with a very basic question. They gave me a transfer function. I think it was 1 by s into something, s into s plus 1 or something. And then they asked me to draw the root locus of that. So then after giving that, he asked me to find the angle of departure if there is any. And he asked me like, how are the asymptotes, where are they intersecting, what is the angle of asymptotes. And then gradually they start increasing the complexity. They actually try to push you till that point where you cannot answer, because they want to bring out the best out of you. It's not that they want to prove that you're dumb or something. Even they know that what they're asking will be slightly difficult. They just want to test how you think. They don't care whether you get the fine, because even in my 2024 interview also, I made very silly mistakes and few mistakes, but my approach was very correct and they appreciated that. So it is not that the professor will see how you're calculating, but they want to see how good you're answering, how you're thinking and all that. And then he asked me to integrate, he asked me why the poles on RHS are unstable, like why, what is the exact reason for why they are unstable. And then he asked me like, why is the root locus symmetric about the x-axis. So these kind of very fundamental whys, like why is this happening, why not something like this and all that. And then he asked me to integrate a controller and asked me what value of k will it become unstable, all those basic questions. So that was about controls. Signals was a slightly difficult one, which I was not able to answer very well. I think I only answered about 60 or 70%. So in that, he gave me a sine wave whose phase was also varying with time. So, and then he asked me like, using Fourier series, how can you find out the phase value or something, Fourier expansion. So I was stuck. I did not understand, but they will start giving you hints. They will tell you, you can try this, you can try that. And then if you start building, they'll actually start encouraging, saying that, okay, very good, you're going in the right direction. And then he'll ask you questions like, what will happen if I do this? What will happen if I do that? What can you interpret from that? How can you use it here to solve the question and all that? So that was my interview in 2023. Coming to 2024, I had taken the same set of subjects, signals and controls and network theory. I was not quizzed on network theory, but I was again quizzed on signals and controls. So initially, he started with math. This time, 2024, they had asked me about math. In math, it was not a very straightforward like draw graph of some sine of log x or something. It was a slightly word problem based. Like he told me that there is an aeroplane which is initially at rest, and then it takes off and lands at airport. So there are two variables. One is horizontal acceleration, another is vertical acceleration. So now you tell me, how is the horizontal acceleration varying with time? How is the vertical acceleration varying with time? How is the horizontal acceleration varying with the vertical acceleration? So at the beginning it seemed very difficult, but like I said again, he was able to they give a lot of hints, and then if you try to build upon that, they actually appreciate that you're trying to solve the problem. And I was again not able to solve it 100%, maybe some 80% or something, but they were satisfied with that. So they only look at how you're thinking. And coming to control systems, again, it was more of like why question, saying that why are we drawing Bode plot? Why are we drawing it only for the loop transfer function? Why not the closed loop transfer function? And why are we using a logarithmic scale? Tell me 3 reasons, or tell me as many reasons as you can why are we using a logarithmic scale and all that. And in signals and systems, they asked me to derive a property of convolution in time domain is multiplication in frequency domain. That was the only question from signals and systems. So this was my experience at IAP.
So basically, from your interview experience, we can say that professors will not ask you difficult questions, very difficult, or not
Yes.
even easier questions than gate level, but you have to tell them the reason why you are
Yes.
doing this such things.
And then we
Okay.
should also try to build our intuition very much, like why a particular thing is happening. We should not take anything for granted. And even if they ask you very difficult question, they will only help you to answer that by giving you hints. So we don't have to panic. That is the
We have
main
to pick
thing.
up the hints.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So Raghu, please share your interview experience. Like, how was it for you?
Yeah, it's like I will just start off with my interview because the basic part, like how professors make you feel or anything, that quite remains same. So my question was like, my interview was like, they asked me 3 favorite subjects. I only gave interview in 2024, that means the last batch. And then I told analog electronics, digital electronics, and electronic devices and circuits, so EDC.
Okay.
Then the panel, it also depends on the panel, like the professor present in the panel, how much he is expertised in the like that subjects, what you take. So it is better I give yeah, like it's a suggestion that whenever a particular aspirant is coming for a department for an interview, just go through in the website, you can see different profiles of the faculty. So that profiles or area of research what they do, and then you just prepare the basic subjects of that part. Like, so if some faculty is doing signal processing, be good with signals and systems. If some faculty is present who is doing like semiconductor work, semiconductor physics work, then be good with EDC, like that. Because whatever the subject that you put, that also should be an expertise of the faculty who is present there,
Okay.
that kind.
So
So
just
coming to
one
my
point.
interview,
Are you pre-informed about the faculty, that who will be in the panel, who is
no,
taking
no,
your
no. You
interview?
will not be informed before. There will be two panels here, panel one
Hmm.
and panel two. So you will be just assigned to some panel. So you will get to know about the faculty once you enter the panel itself. So coming to my interview, analog. I chose analog, digital, and EDC. And in basic, first it was a math question. They asked me to plot some graph. So what exactly? It was fractional part of x. So,
Okay.
but be prepared with other graphs also. Then coming to my first question, that was from digital electronics. They gave me a 12-bit counter, up counter, and then it was cascaded to a 12-bit DAC. Then I was
Okay.
asked to draw the waveform, like what is the output waveform of the DAC. And the second question was from analog electronics. And even analog electronics means like people like they look always like BJTs, MOSFETs,
Hmm.
different MOSFET configuration. No, it's like you be prepared with that. But your RC circuits, RL circuits, RLC circuits, that must be very strong, because MOSFET is just a device. I can replace it with another device, but my
Hmm.
RLCs, what I use to bias that circuit, that like those dominate, or those decide the what is the characteristic of that whole circuit is. So they always test on RC, RLC, those basic network kind of questions. So I was given with the RC circuit, some RC circuit, and they analyzed, asked me which capacitor is charging, which capacitor is discharging, what is the write the equations across those capacitors, and that kind of question. So
So
I was asked three questions: one math, digital, and analog.
hmm.
And no faculty was there who was related to EDC in my panel. So I was just quizzed with these three
Okay.
subjects. But one thing is like they expect you to keep on explaining whatever the steps you write on the board there on that day.
Okay.
It's not that okay, they said write the equation, I just wrote the equation, done. It's not like that.
Hmm.
So why are you writing that equation? What are you interpreting from that equation? What are the different terms of that equation giving you information about? Those things you need to explain it, like while writing that
Right. Right.
equation, anything like that
Okay.
during that quiz time.
Okay. So that was a very good discussion about this interview experience. So now moving on to this internship and placement. So Sanjeev, could you tell like how, what are the different roles in which people from IAP pursuing like MTech instrument system go for internships or placements? Which
Yeah, I
companies are there?
can. Yeah. So like all the VLSI companies like Qualcomm, Cisco, TI, Texas Instruments, all these top companies, most of them, like they get internship over there. And like coming to the placement actually there are like lot many more companies that come in, like maybe IBM, Intel, Aura Semiconductors, again TI, Qualcomm, all that. So many of my, like if I talk about my seniors, like most of them are placed in top, like VLSI companies itself.
Okay.
There again, there is a bifurcation, like they go to digital and some of them go to analog. I've also heard about some. I'm not very sure, but I've heard that there are some biomedical companies also that come in, because like our department also does a lot of biomedical related work. But
Okay.
as far as what I know about my seniors directly, I've heard that they get placed, with a very good salary, very good job, very good roles in top VLSI companies itself.
Okay.
Most of them go for that. So
So
yeah.
for these placements, are the courses offered in the department enough, or they take a lot of electives from other departments?
Yeah, they do take electives from other departments, like from DESE or yeah, typically from DESE itself. So in fact, this our batch onwards, we have been also given given some few additional subjects like RF networks and embedded systems. So our seniors they did not have that. We have those subjects. So probably this time we can expect to see different streams. Like some might go to embedded system firmware or something, and some might become an RF engineer. So that is what is the trend now. But overall, it is like typically VLSI companies itself that they get placed.
And any idea, do you all have like any idea for those who are not from EC background, do they find this program difficult or easy, and how do they manage for the placements?
Yeah, so I am not from EC background, so I
Yes,
think
yes,
I can answer that.
yes, yes.
So yeah, like I mean, what I would suggest is that like that you won't find it very difficult because the professors are super helpful here. Like let us say that like I'm from biomedical and have not studied. Let us say maybe I have not studied RF networks in my BTech. I mean, I don't have even the prerequisites properly, like magnetic
Yes,
field theory and all that. But I go and ask the professor, and like she tells that you study this book, you study this topic, and with her guidance I go and cover that. Like it is the thing is that the program is made since it is interdisciplinary, the professors already have taken care that for those who are not from this background, they and even for the ones that are from the EC background should have same advantage. So they actually
okay,
start
okay,
off with the basics itself. Like when they started RF networks, she did not directly go to transmission, and she started with basic electromagnetic theory, Maxwell equation and all that. So in that sense, like the syllabus is well defined, well designed, that even a beginner, a person who does not know anything like in that particular domain, can catch up and get on par with the course. But I would still suggest that like you can probably, if you don't have any idea about circuits or something, you can probably cover up in those 3 months of holidays that you get after selection. Like you can just
okay,
read a bit of network theory, little bit of analog electronics. Advanced is not at all required. You can just read the basics so that it becomes easier to read in depth after you join the MTech.
okay. Okay, thank you. So, Raghu, anything else like you want to add on to this?
Internship part and placement part, I think Sanjay was pretty covered it. And one suggestion is like, yeah, it may be an interdisciplinary department, but still, as it's an instrumentation and applied physics part, and MTech in instrumentation, it's like, yeah, it's more oriented in a kind of that circuits background kind of flavor, what you can say. Because everyone has that circuits the prerequisite. Commonly, like all those three branches have it, and even our program here is like meant with that kind of a circuits kind of flavor. Yeah, yes, like people who are not from the circuital background, yeah, sure, they can, like, if they put some hard work, surely like they can cover it up. It's not nothing like they can't cover it, but they also have some parts like for mechanical, so like if they are from mechanical and other domains, and they need to have that extra work that they need to do in that basics to come in par with the students who are already from a circuits background. So that difference, that small difference will be there, but sure, it's not like impossible kind of thing.
Okay, okay. So, thank you so much. So, thank you, Sanjeev, and thank you, Raghutam, for sharing your insights about the IIP.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity first. That like we got to share our experience on this platform.